In 2024, more than 1,100 cyclists died during traffic crashes.
And over 52,000 cyclists were injured in the United States. That according to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. Tonight, cyclists across the country, including many right here in Siouxland, took a ride to honor all of those who lost their lives. KTIV's Sophie Wyckoff has the story.
With every mile, these cyclists pay tribute to those that can't ride anymore.
Well, it's to kind of draw attention to the cyclists out there and promoting safety to cyclists, especially this year too.
Wednesday's Ride of Silence was done in memory of cyclists killed doing what they loved. 11 cyclists rode silently from Sergeant Bluff to Bronson. They still remembered the cyclists killed on Gordon Drive in Sioux City back in March. The Iowa DOT says biker fatalities in Iowa account for roughly 2 to 3% of the state's total annual traffic deaths. That averages about 5 to 7 cyclist deaths per year. The president of Siouxland Cyclists, pedaling in his 4th Ride of Silence, shared important safety tips for riders as the cycling season picks up.
You know, you want to have flashing lights, you want to wear bright clothes, and be aware, ride the side of the road. You don't have to take the middle up. And just be aware of your surroundings. If it's a busy street, then you do more of staying out of the way.
The Iowa DOT says the majority of bicycle crashes happen in urban areas.
Well, you know, we're all blessed to wake up every day, and some of us aren't doing that.
About 40% of bicycle fatalities happen on rural roads.
It means a lot to take a moment to reflect and to give them a moment of silence to appreciate.
In Sergeant Bluff, Sophie Wyckoff, KTIV News 4.
In all, the 11 cyclists rode 8 miles in silence from Sergeant Bluff to Bronson, Iowa. The cyclists asked drivers to pay attention to their surroundings while driving and be aware of people on bikes.